What's going on? Everyone, this is Crazy Russian, aka The Rules here. And I'm making this video from my girlfriend's apartment. She's moving right now, it kind of sucks, but this is basically video response to Cynthia G once again. So I watched that video where she was basically talking about this Asian guy who basically beat that black woman. And she's been saying that, well, he beat her because she was black, this is racism and shit like that. No, it's not. Let me tell you something. Okay? It's just how we are. Because I grew up in Russia, and Russia is half Asian country. When I'm living in America now, and I look at Asians and stuff, even though I'm not really Asian, but the way I was raised and everything, it's more Asian-like than European-like. And I'm look like an Eastern man anyway, even though I'm white. So, and technically, actually, if you think about it, what's Asia? Middle East is part of Asia, Eastern Europe. So I'm pretty much borderline Asian as is. I'm not Chinese, I'm not Japanese, and I never consider myself Asian. But I feel like, based on my behavior and the way I was raised, I'm actually more similar to Asian than to whites. So, and the fact that I have nothing to do with slavery, it's another resemblance. And not to mention that Russia had been under Asian control for 240 years, but you don't know Russian history, so what I'm talking to right now. But Russia had been influenced a lot by Asia, more so than by Europe. So that's why I can tell you one thing, okay? It's like, I know how Russians are, and I've seen Asian people, and I feel like, even at my job in nursing home, I work with one Asian woman, and sometimes I feel like she's more normal than Americans are, okay? Because she makes more sense to me than Americans do. Like when I talk to her, like when I see how she acts, like I understand her, I understand where she's coming from, versus white Western opinion of black people. They do not make sense to me like that, okay? And I'm being honest about it. So, me coming from Russia and me understanding Asians, I can tell that the guy probably was saying the truth. The fact that he beat the shit out of the black woman, it was not a racially motivated behavior, okay? And if it would be the white woman, he would act the same way. Because let me tell you something, there is a video, I may put it in the description, where this white Russian guy was beating the shit out of white American guy in Russia, and he didn't care. See, people like that, they don't understand. Like me, I don't understand that race mentality between Western Europeans and blacks, okay? Because it has nothing to do with me. Even though I'm white, I'm from different ethnic background. I have nothing to do with that shit. So it's like, it's a whole different, dimension. And I'm pretty sure that Asian guy, he just acted that way because that black woman just basically pissed him off. Because she's been acting annoying and she pissed him off. Because let me tell you something too. I work with some black people, and sometimes I was very close to fucking beat the shit out of them. Like for real. Sometimes I'm at the job, sometimes at some workplaces people piss me off so much that I'm jumping up and down and I'm ready to beat the shit out of somebody. Like, let me tell you that. Like, people really piss me off sometimes. So, because in a lot of times when I'm thinking about things, like, I'm thinking like, why can't you think like me? And I'm trying to explain people things, why they don't think right, how they should think. And people just don't go with it. Like even at FedEx, there is one woman, and actually I like her. She seems like a nice person and everything, but like, the way she acts funny. Like, for example, like, I'm just helping her and she acts funny, like, why I don't need your help? She thinks like, I'm gonna do something. I don't understand it, like, and sometimes like, people act certain way, I don't understand why they act this way. And when I ask them, they just like turning around and going, I'm like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? And people act the same way towards me, like people think I'm crazy and why I'm jumping up and down and shit. But really, just I'm acting that way because people piss me off. It's not my fault, it's their fault because they're not acting right, not me. That's how I'm thinking about things. Because they've been bullshitting a lot of times, in my opinion, so. But what I do agree with you, Cynthia G, that yes, people should be segregated and people with different mentality, different background should not be together for the most part. Of course, there are exclusions, like I'm dating black woman, but I bet she's probably 1/8 Jewish. She just doesn't know about it, so. But yeah, I mean, really, people of the same ethnicity should stick together. Even when I was a little kid, my mom always told me, marry Jewish woman, and she told me that for a reason. And I was thinking, oh, I can do whatever. And my mom be telling me too, oh, when I was young, I also was thinking we can all get along, we all can be cool. But now, like living in America and seeing different opinions, different mentality, different lifestyles, I understand that, you know what? You think certain way, but the way you think it may not be right when you're dealing with people who have different mentality from yours. So like for example, if I'm dealing with Russians or with Jews, my mentality can be right and on point. But if I apply my mentality to Western Europeans or to blacks or to other ethnic groups, I'm gonna be way off because they just don't think like I do. So that was probably what happened, in that situation, because, I got a lot into this multiculturalism. That's why, I understand that, the way I see things and the way I think, probably a lot of other people, they just don't think the same way. So, and a lot of times people, they just not open enough to really like discuss things like that. Because it's just like, people just cannot comprehend different mentalities. That's simple, People were born and raised certain way, and if you tell people think otherwise, it doesn't make sense to them. Like I have problem with Americans' individualism, for example, still to this day. And I know if things would be up to me, guess what? I would do things differently. So I don't like some ways the way people do things either. So, and I feel like the fact that I'm foreigner is a hindrance of me being in the United States because, see, there are a lot of people who may be good people I want to be friends with, can go out with, but I can't because of the way I act. But then again, I don't think that I'm wrong, that's the thing. I think that I'm right the way I act, I think I have a point. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I think that other people are fucked up, not me. That's the thing, truth be told. I think that what I'm doing is alright. I think that other people are bullshitting, but because of the way who I am in this society, I know that I probably cannot, even though I'm not that stupid, but I know I'm probably not gonna get a job better than FedEx. Just because I don't want to deal with bullshit. I don't want to, deal with people and with different mentalities and everything, and being in the position where, I'm gonna get fired for being hostile at work. I don't want to get there, okay? Because I had a lot of times the instances where like I was ready just to beat the shit out of some people at my job. I was barely holding myself because people were pissing me off so badly with their actions, People were interfering with my ways, not letting me do things the way I want to do it, fucking with me for no reason. I had this shit happen at work, And I was pretty pissed off a lot. Like people saw that I was angry all the time, but there was a reason why I was angry. Because of other people who were like messing with me. And even with my family, like with my dad, like I get angry because he pisses me off, like because, fucking with my ways and shit like that. But see, that's a problem, like, we people, we live in society, and especially in America, you have no choice but to deal with people who have different mentalities from yours. And that's why it's pain in the ass.